everybody, Jonathan Reeves here from realtimerendering.com. Now today I've got some really exciting news. The release of Twinmotion 2021 has happened. We've been waiting for this for a while and it's super exciting. Now you can see a really nice release trailer that they made in the background running, and there's some lovely projects here for you to have a look at. But some of these actually have been made with the older Twinmotion, so I'd like to focus a little bit in this video on some of the new features, and we'll probably get on to maybe the top 10 of these. But there's some amazing new features and I do hope you enjoy the video, and let me kind of break these down for you. So I'll leave you running to watch the trailer and then we'll get on to those new features. Thanks for watching. So as you can see, the new Twinmotion 2021 has a gorgeous new loading screen courtesy of Anfam. Let's take a look at Twinmotion 2020.1. Super exciting, and the first thing that you're going to notice is that the interface has been cleaned up a little bit, and there's some nice new touches here. They've changed the text and the font to make that a bit more professional, I think. And basically when you pop out the side panels here, there's been a bit of tweaking to the icons that you can see. But overall they haven't dramatically changed the interface. We've still got the viewport window in the middle, we've got the kind of dock down the bottom, and we've got the libraries and side panels on this side, and the organizer or scenograph over on the right hand side. So nothing really dramatic has changed. And the statistics panel pops up as you need it to down here. So let's have a look at some of the amazing new features. Now the very first thing that you're going to notice when you pop out the library from the side is that we now have unbelievable Quixel's Megascans. So let's have a look at this. This is one of my favourite new features right out the box. So when we click onto Quixel's Megascans, we can go through different folders, we can look at textures or assets. Let's have a quick look at some of the assets to begin with. Here we go. Let's go for some building things, and you can see there's a lot of subfolders here. So let's go through to maybe stair and have a look. So if we would like to download a ready-made stair, all we need to do is click on this icon here, but at the moment we're not logged in. So all you need to do is go and basically sign into your Epic Games account. That'll automatically be remembered for you once you're kind of logged in with your Twinmotion version of the software. So we'll click OK. And now you'll notice that these little buttons come alive. So let's go ahead and click on the download button, and you'll notice it will kind of give a little bit of progress here while it downloads, and that means this concrete stair is available for use. The icon's now gone away. So all we need to do to get this into our model is, as ever, drag and drop. It takes a second to load in the object the very first time. So let's just click F to fit the object when it's loaded in. And it will just take a second. Okay, so we're a bit far out, so let's just click F and sort of zoom in there. And you can see how nice is that. So this is a really sort of detailed Quixel's Megascan stair. Now you will notice actually it took a while to load in the first time, but the next time you actually go to load it in, it's kind of right there. So if you kind of want to merge a few of these together, that's pretty straightforward. As you can see I'm doing here. Let's just pan across a bit. And very, very nice. Trying to get those to blend a bit together. Okay, so let's go and look at some other objects here. As I'm an architect, I quite like some of the architectural things, so I'll have a look in the pillars. Some nice like columns and things in there. Let's go back to doors. Really nice, actually. These are good. So here's a very detailed one. This would take a long time to model if you were looking at something like this. So let's click onto the download icon. And again, it'll take a second or two to download. Just give it a second, and then once it's downloaded we can do a couple of things. We can click on it to actually bring it into the model. Let's just kind of put this here. Again, as I said before, it processes the very first time, but once you've actually downloaded it into the scene, it's a lot faster. Okay, so we'll go ahead and download one more of these doors. Let's click on the download button, just wait a second or two while it downloads, and basically just drag and drop it straight into the scene. I like this new little target mode that we get as well, that's nice. And then it creates the object, it processes the data for us, and then basically we can work with it directly in our scene. So very, very straightforward. Previously with the Quixel assets, it was a bit of a faff. You had to download them, then you had to go and sort of process them and actually kind of bring them in. But look at the quality of that, absolutely amazing. Now, if this is something that you like the look of, and you can see everything is here organised away, what we can do is just basically click on Favourite. And what that means is these little doors will be stored in a favourites library if we would like them to. You don't actually have to download them to store them. Basically that means when we go back, if we click on our favourites, you can see here are some of the little favourites with the love heart here actually already in there. Fantastic. So let's go back and explore the library a tiny bit more. I absolutely love this. So we'll go for 3D assets. Let's just go for something from nature. Let's go for some sort of rocks. And I think we'll go for some, let's have a look, some boulders. Look at the quality of these guys. So if you need this kind of thing, I think this is one I've downloaded earlier because the icon has already disappeared. So I should be able to just drag and drop that pretty much straight into the scene. And here we go. What's nice is you can obviously hold shift down and you can easily copy a few of these around for your scene as well. But really what's striking about the Quixel assets is just simply the quality. Now if you do want to, you can click the material picker here, you can go in to the individual material and you can kind of darken and play around with the sort of saturation and the tone of those textures as well. And actually no reason why we can't actually fiddle around with those textures, although they do look a bit weird when you do that. Better to keep them at 1, and that's because they're basically UV-W mapped nicely onto the object. So let's just reset that to 1, and it should be spot on again. But you know, check it out. I mean, all of these textures, just amazing. Basically, you can colour or darken them. Now, I think with these Quixel Megascans, because they're all just one texture, you can only darken or lighten the entire thing. So I get that. So do check out some of the libraries, and one really nice other aspect to the libraries is you can stretch this panel as wide as you would like now. It used to be limited to I think 2 wide or 3 wide, so now you actually can stretch it right across. So, lovely. We're going to look at is to do with the new vegetation. Now they've really increased the library as you would expect with every new release. And the first thing you'll notice is really nice new feature here that you can actually slide the panel of the library out as wide as you would like it. So that's really nice, and it gives you a kind of really good overview and preview of some of the new assets as well. I think they're adding to this all the time, and there's certainly more trees than there was before. Well, the feature that I really love is the fact that you can actually basically select a tree, drag it into the viewport, and let's just place a few of these. There we go, just a few there. And basically now, when I actually select each individual tree, you'll notice down on the bottom on the dock, you've actually got 2 lovely features. We can do the leaf tinting. So this means we can actually kind of tune up the tree a little bit more. Let's take this one, let's tune that one a bit more green. And that one again, let's go a bit more yellowy. And that one there will go a little bit darker, maybe kind of a bit more browny, and so on. So this gives you a lot more variety within the existing plants. You'll notice you can actually do the same with the bark as well. If you would like to sort of lighten that or make it a bit more reddy as well. Quite a nice feature, really. Now, I really like the new library of trees. I think some of those new ones are the ones that are down here at the bottom, I believe. Let's have a quick look at some of those. So when you select a whole bunch of those, basically every time you click, you're going to get a random size tree, and you'll actually get the different varieties as well. So this is really good for sort of populating the scene quite rapidly when you're kind of not too worried about specific trees and you just want to bring them in. Now another nice little tip is if we go to, for example, the bushes, let's just drag in a couple of these. Okay, so fine. Now basically what we can do here is we can select our bush, drag off a copy, and if we do the tinting, you'll notice that the first thing you'll notice, if you kind of tint one, they both tint, and that was because they were a copy. But if we do the same thing again, and this time instead of an instance we make a copy, now we'll actually find that the basically tinting only applies to that specific one. So basically every time you drag one off, if you want a different tint, do a copy, and let's just kind of tint that one as well. So you can basically see this is a really nice way just to be able to kind of get different colorations within your vegetation and so on. And a great little tip here is actually, basically if you kind of select a group of plants, just make that one a little bit smaller, just tint that one, just going to go kind of fairly obviously kind of yellowy. What we can do is we can basically select those, put them into a container. Let's make a little container for these bushes, and we'll just right click to rename. Let's just call this bush group, and we'll drag those into there. So a really nice little tip here is that you can basically, let's just kind of reposition that very slightly before we go ahead and do this. Yeah, that's cool. Basically we can right click and we can add that to our user library. So now when we will go all the way back to our user library, let's just make the viewport a bit larger here. You'll see that it's very, very rapid, and here's a few that I've been playing with. I can basically just drag in that plant group, and it's got that nice little kind of mix of plants. So I think landscape architects are going to really like this feature. The fact that you can basically just drag in little kind of pre-made groups of tinted plants just to get a lot more variety in your image. So very, very welcome new feature, and very grateful for that one. Okay, so the next new feature that we're going to look at for Twinmotion 2021 is the new Datasmith Import. So when we click OK on the import, you'll notice that we can actually import directly from different software here. So we can actually link the Datasmith file. But basically I'm going to show you how we now can do this from Vectorworks, which is my design software. So I've got a nice new project on the go, and let's have a look at this in Twinmotion. Now previously I would have gone to File Export, I would have done Cinema 4D, and that's actually been working really well for me. But you'll see that now we have the Unreal Datasmith Direct Export option built into Vectorworks Service Pack 3, 2021 Service Pack 3. So let's go ahead. One thing I like about the Datasmith, you do actually have different levels of quality. So we'll go for high, and this keeps the model size down. Let's click OK, and basically let's just go through and export that into that folder there. It's pretty quick. You'll see when it exports, it's basically telling you the path here. It's giving you a little progress bar on what it's doing, and it doesn't take too long at all. And basically what it's actually doing is breaking down all of the 3D objects and the textures to meshes that will import into Unreal Engine or Twinmotion. And that's the beauty. So now when we click OK, let's go and select geometry, click open, and let's go and find our file. And you can see here is the folder with the Datasmith option there. We've also got all the assets. So these are all the meshes that have been exported, along with the textures as well. So basically a few options in here. This sort of shows you all the different file types we can import into Twinmotion. So whatever design software you're using, you can really import from a huge array of software. So don't worry about that too much. Let's go and click open. And there's a few different options. As ever, I tend to like to keep the hierarchy, but if you do want slightly smaller file sizes, collapse by material is a good option as well. So we'll go ahead, we'll click OK, and you'll notice that Twinmotion starts processing the data pretty rapidly and processing that import. Now, be quite keen to have a quick look at this. Here is option 5. Here we go. And here it is in Twinmotion. And it looks absolutely spot on. Compared to my sort of Vectorworks model, this looks great. All come through really nicely. Things like all the textures and everything have come through really well. And basically the organisation has come through. Let's have a little quick play with the lighting, if we can sort of get through to a slightly different time of day. But basically that's great, and you'll see that it's really nice. It's actually brought through all of my structure from my file in the Vectorworks model. So that's really, really nice. If I actually want to sort of turn off certain elements like the roof there, for example, I can sort of strip that back, just kind of get down and have a look inside the model. Maybe I'll turn off the first floor as well, just go and look at my sort of ground floor plan. So basically really nice. It kept the file structure, and when I want to, I can actually click on relocate, or I can click basically the update button anytime I've made some changes. So really, really excellent new feature, particularly if you're a Vectorworks user. As you know, if you've seen my channel before, I am a big fan of Vectorworks, amazing 3D modeler and rendering and BIM software. But in terms of sort of actually, you know, basically moving up to the next level of rendering, this is where Twinmotion really comes in, and it doesn't take very long. Let's just kind of get some grass in, basically move that ground up ever so slightly, or move my model down rather. And what I'll do is just do a tiny bit of work on this. Let's go to our paintbrush. We'll go to grass and flowers, and let's just drag in a few bits of grass, maybe a few flowers as well. Yeah, I love this tool, so let's just go for the brush there, just to get that brush size down a little bit there. And off we go. Wow, that's a lot of flowers. So what I'll do is I'll just have a little spray with those. And the nice thing about this is I can easily click on this one and just change the density afterwards. I love that about the new features there. So without too much work really, I could basically just pop into my image. None of this is new, by the way. Create an image and essentially change the weather. Let's just do that really quickly for you. You know, let's drag in a tree. I think the appropriate tree for this, something like this. Just drag that into the scene. Just kind of get that back a bit. And let's just grow it a bit more. So we've kind of got just a little bit of context in there. That's nice. I think on this side we'll just have a regular horse chestnut tree. Sort of frame that up a bit behind me. There we go. That's looking great. A couple of minutes work. All I need to do if I want to render that image, let's just go to more, choose format. Let's go to 4K image. And basically I'm going to click and load that image in and basically start the export. Now, another new feature I just wanted to touch on, as well as the Datasmith here, is the fact that if we do go to more and go to camera, we've now got, as well as the usual sort of things like vignetting and so on, we've now got some really nice additional filters. So I just want to touch on these for a moment. So if you've never played with these are well worth a look. There's a few kind of weird ones, to be honest. And I wasn't a huge fan of all of those by any means. But if you scroll down a bit further, I think they've got some really, really nice ones now. Like these sort of more sketchy ones are quite nice. I particularly like this one, actually. My new favourite, I think, is the line light. I think that's really cool. Just kind of gives it a slightly more kind of graphic-y look and sketchy look. So that's a nice one. Let's have a look at just one or two more. Go for hidden line. That's pretty cool. And hidden line to, oh yes, this is amazing. So this is great. Architects will love this. The ability just to kind of slide through, change the time and the day a bit, just to make it a bit darker. Let's just basically go ahead and create an image like that. In fact, what's nice is we can simply duplicate an image. Let me just refresh to get that view back. We can duplicate an image a couple of times, and it's very easy just to pop in and basically go and change the visual effect. Now, a great little tip here is basically you can overlay these, maybe using your image editing software like Photoshop or something. So we'll just go through, we'll do a none on that one, and on the last one, go through, click more, let's go to camera, and we'll go to my new favourite one, which was, I think I like the hatching one. Well, maybe not that one. Let's go for the line light one. Okay, good. So I'm going to click export. I'm going to load in all three of my sketch images. Click start export. And within a very short space of time, we've actually created a few little renderings. And basically, we can use Vectorworks to overlay these, or any imaging editing software like Photoshop, to actually lay them over each other and suddenly generate some other types of sketch effects that you wouldn't be able to do without those three images. And I'll show you what I mean in a second, but those are almost rendered, and we'll come back and check out the final results in a moment. So what we're going to do, we're going to go down to the Media tab, and basically I'm going to go to Presenter. I'm going to set up a new presenter. So I'm going to create a quick presentation here, and I'm going to add some new media. Now, I really haven't got a lot on this project at the moment, so let's just sort of drag down these ones that I do have. That's fine. Okie dokie, that's good. And I always think of Presenter a bit like sort of PowerPoint on steroids, in that you can kind of rearrange your images in the order that you would like. And when you want to actually show the client, all you do is you click on this icon up here to go full screen mode. That takes you into Presenter. And then it's very nice. You can kind of navigate around. You can basically switch to different styles of images as well. And you're basically free to kind of move around and so on. You can even get in and do things like change the time of day. So, you know, nothing is actually fixed. So we can just sort of swing that shadow around a bit more. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, looks good. And basically navigate around as normal. Okay, so the new feature here is when we're actually ready to go to export, if we turn the images off for a second, let's just turn those off, deselect those. Let's go to Presenter, and let's load in our presentation one, and we'll go to More. So now we actually can save locally, or we can save to the cloud. So when we click Save to the Cloud, all we now need to do is actually go to Export. And I'll tell you what, I'm just going to do one little thing on my presenter. I'm just going to change the order of these images. I'm going to just drag that one there. Okay, cool. Right, so let's go ahead. Let's click Export, Start Export. And basically you'll see that it talks to the server and it's now exporting up to the cloud. Here's the name of our presentation one. It's generating some data and probably take a moment or two just to upload the file, depending on your internet speed and how quick this is. And then when we're ready, we'll be able to click on Open Presenter Cloud and essentially go to the link. So the idea of the cloud is that not everybody has the hardware and the computer power to actually run Twinmotion. You know, it is quite intensive on the graphics card. And it would be really nice to be able to share your projects to clients using iPads or iPhones or whatever device, actually, any computer at all. So the idea is the cloud actually does all the hard, heavy lifting behind the graphics work. And basically whatever your experience is on your iPad should be as good as it is in the Twinmotion software on a good computer. Let's go ahead then. Let's click Open Presenter and we'll come back and look at that on the cloud. I can click onto my project here, and if I would like to view it, I can share the link with someone if I want to, give them access. I can rename the project and delete and those kind of things. But really very excited just to click on the view button and load the cloud presenter through my browser essentially. So this is great. I can view this on an iPad or a phone. I can share this with a client who's just using maybe a laptop or something. And it's just a great way to present high quality Twinmotion files for anybody really who isn't, you know, going to have the ultimate piece of a PC. Great image here by Powell Rimza, a very talented Twinmotion artist, again winner of one of the competitions. I love how Twinmotion and Epic Games basically use, you know, the featured artists and sort of feature their work as they're doing stuff. So let's just give this a moment and we should be there for a second, just loading. Okay, good. So here is our cloud presenter and you can see it's a little lower fidelity at the moment than the other one. Maybe that's just because it's actually loading in. But the great thing is I'm able to navigate around on my browser. I can see that the quality is actually getting better all the time in real time. And basically even those different image effects are available. So this is just so cool to be able to sort of do this on any device and show the client. In our browser, amazingly actually viewing the project we just worked on a few minutes ago in a good level of quality. Now the resolution depends a bit on the internet connection. I'm at home at the moment. It's not the best connection to be honest, but got full fibre in the office, so this will be a lot nicer down there. But I love the fact that you can actually change through the different pre-recorded images. You can click on the play button. Basically everything that you can do in Twinmotion, even sort of changing things like the time of day, you can do directly with the cloud presentation capabilities of the new Twinmotion Presenter Cloud. So absolutely fantastic feature, and this is going to enable us to really kind of share our projects very, very easily with the clients. Let's kind of get inside the model. Let's kind of swing through here a little bit to the lounge. Let's get a little view here. Let's have a little play with the time of the day, see if we can get some sort of sunshine coming a bit more into the project. Yeah, that's kind of nice, that golden hour look. You'll see that the quality tends to improve when the internet connection's sort of a bit more stable. Just give it a second or two to load in, and then moving around is actually pretty smooth really. So you can adjust all the speeds and everything, but what a wonderful feature. Really looking forward to trying this out with my clients and sharing with them. Thanks for watching, everybody. I do hope you've enjoyed this new video for Twinmotion 2021. I've certainly enjoyed making it, and even more so, I can't wait to play with these amazing new features. Just finishing off really by showing you the trailer again, but also just wanted to touch on my website, realtimerendering.com. Don't forget the hyphens in there. But please come and visit me, and if you need any more information on Twinmotion, we'd love to help. Thank you.